Diji Wusu is once again here with us, a marketing strategist. And of course, today on Motivation, we're still talking Marketing 101. Why should they buy from you? It is great to have you, Diji. You're welcome.
Thank you, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay. All right, let's do a quick recap of what we talked about last week before we get into this week's topic.
All right, thank you for that. For last week, one of the key things I spoke about was that you need to define what value is. And I will run through it quickly. And I said, one, value is when you make things easier for people.
Okay.
Value is when you entertain people. Value is when you motivate people. Value is when you help them get to their destination at a much quicker pace. That is value. In summary, in whatever you do, it's not just your service. It's about how do you help people get to their intended goal or outcome.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good.
That's value.
So that's value. All right, wonderful. Now, you need to have value for people to think of buying from you.
Correct.
Right. So why should they buy from you? What is that thing? You know, people talk about USP so much. It's now like a buzzword and all of that. But what should somebody need to do to separate themselves from the rest of the competition that will enable people buy from them?
All right, thank you. That's a brilliant question. For a lot of people, they think about differentiating themselves. And they think it's about maybe wearing goofy hats, wearing glasses, wearing chains. They're trying to stand out. Sorry to bust your bubble. The best way to stand out is by connecting. Look at it. You're in a large crowd, maybe a stadium, you're walking by, and from afar, you see your old schoolmates, secondary school, shout out to all of them, and you just see someone like, I know this guy. You connect with them instantly. Did the person wear anything strange? No. The best thing he could have done was he knew you. He was connected with you. That is one of the greatest ways to stand out, connecting with people.
With people. All right. How do you connect with people?
All right, thank you. That's another way of turning the question around. How do you build an audience? I think last week, it was said that Ronaldo crossed about 1 billion people on social media.
Yeah.
What he has done is he has been able to connect with people on various platforms.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very true.
So the next question is, how do you do that? Let me just run through it like this. There are 3 things you do when you're building an audience.
Okay.
The first will be decide on who your audience is going to be. Let me a quick story. We're out of town. I think last year I was with my daughter on a beach. A massive wave came and a lot of things were on the beach. These tiny, tiny creatures, I don't know what they are called. She bent down, started throwing them back into the sea. And I asked, what are you doing? He said, oh, these ones are stranded. I'm trying to save them. I was going to say, look at the entire beach. What are you going to do about it? But she said, I'm saving these ones. And that is the same question. Decide on who you are saving. You cannot save the entire world.
Okay. So it's about deciding your market, knowing who you appeal to, who you can. You can't do, you're not Jesus. You can't save the world and all of that. Wonderful. So when it comes to that connecting, now what practical ways, a startup, somebody who is just starting, what practical ways can they take to connect with people?
All right. Thank you. Once you've decided on your market, your next step will be decide on what problem you want to be known to be solving. You can't say, yes, I have chosen my audience, but what is the problem I want to be seen to be solving? In case, imagine you're a mechanic. If your target audience, your target problem that you're solving is that I deal with only Mercedes-Benz or Toyota, let it be clear, I help them with only their radiator. That is the message you are pushing out there. It's clear to people that when my Mercedes-Benz has an issue, if anybody thinks about it, they're going to come to me and say, yes, he's the best person to go to. So decide on the problem that you are solving. All
right. After you decide, what next?
Thank you for that, Adil. Once you decide on the problem, you need to ensure that the problem is, one, it's large enough, it has a large enough people behind it. That is one. 2, you need to ensure that the problem matters to your ideal audience. Yes?
Okay.
Once we have gone past that, the next step is, there are 3 ways to build an audience.
Okay.
1, you either pay for it.
Oh, yeah.
2, you grow it organically.
Okay.
That takes time, that takes effort,
okay,
and that takes a lot of grit to continue.
Okay.
The easiest I've seen over and over again is a third method. It's a hybrid of the 2 of them, and that's what I call joint ventures.
Joint ventures, okay.
Look for someone that has your audience. Complementary audience. Find a way to latch on to them. Piggyback on their audience. A quick story comes to mind. You go to a suya spot, you want to buy suya. Suya is one of the food we eat in West Africa and Lagos. They take a bit, taste it. What can you give your audience to taste at no cost? It has to be something valuable. Once they taste it, you need to also do something else, what I call a call to action.
Okay.
How do you get their details?
Okay.
A quick example, I was at the supermarket yesterday. I was running late. I didn't go to my regular supermarket.
Okay.
I just stopped by someone and I said, do you have eggs? And said, yes. And I said, all right. I bought eggs and I said, okay, can we have your numbers? I'm like, not to worry. But imagine they had said, because you're a new customer today, you can have 3 more eggs or 4 more eggs. And can we take your number? I would have said yes. I don't thought about it. You must give the audience something in return for their details.
Wonderful. I like that, Diji. It's always a pleasure talking to you. We're looking forward to having you more, of course, across the month, where you get to share your value with us. Thank you so much, Diji. All right, that's it on Motivation this morning. We'll take a time and I'll stay with us. We'll be back in a jiffy.